Hello lovely people, this is Ashley here, sending my love to you from whatever reality I'm in today to whatever reality you've happened to find yourself wandering through. Now, this is going to be a continuation of my last vlog, my last little video, which when I got very, very excited because for me, the North Pole's back, and it's a sight I never thought I'd see again, to be honest with you. So I did get very excited. I posted a link to show what I'm seeing, what Google's showing me. And I asked for you to have a look at that and tell me what you thought. Now, not very many of you actually did that. You're just telling me that you don't have the North Pole. Or in the case of Vanessa, she had it, it went away and it came back again. Now, I will post it down below and some other links for you as well. As we go through this video, you'll understand why. Because I am actually taking on board the things that you said to me. And it seems that yes, and I'll answer this question straight away. Of course, Google lies to us. We know that. I'm not stupid. I understand Google lies. I'm aware of this, but I am also aware of the fact that it gets stuck in between shifts and it tells us things that, you know, it shows us things that we haven't been able to see for a long time. We get residual of the old way as well as the new, and sometimes a completely, you know, something that's real to me is new to you, or, you know, things that have merged. But the thing about Google is that this is the place that we're supposed to trust. I mean, obviously we don't trust it completely, but if it is, the thing about Google is it enables us to share our experiences and be close to each other across realities, because we are definitely not in the same reality at the same time. That is a certain fact. But as far as Google Earth is concerned, my reality on Google, for months, there was not a single thing could I find on Google showing me my old, beautiful North Pole full of ice. I couldn't find it anywhere. Nothing. Not a single picture could I find of it, as if it never ever existed. And now, my Google, it's not just Wikipedia, it's from NASA, and I know that they're not to be trusted, but you know, these are the people that are supposed to be showing us satellites of what the Earth looks like, and yet it's different for us. It's showing you one thing and it's showing me another. And right now, it's a wash. Google is a wash with, it's here, in this bit here, where I am, it's quite clearly normal to have the North Pole ice cap here. And this is something I decided to investigate after having taken your comments on board, because you're right. There is no ice cap on Google Earth, but there are links saying that, you know, as I've just said, and we all know, you know, Google Earth used to quite happily show the North Polar ice cap. You know, it didn't not do it. We've all seen it. Google Earth used to show the whole of the polar ice cap, and then suddenly it didn't. So, you know, none of us are there. None of us are there, are we? Our information's from Google, and we were all looking on Google for residue of our beautiful North Pole. Now, Google for me right now is full of it. But you're right, it isn't actually on the up-to-date Google Earth. It still isn't on that. Yeah, I've got video after video after video showing quite clearly the Earth with the polar ice cap being shown previously. So I tried, because of your comments, I decided that I'd try and find out why Google Earth is not showing the polar ice cap. And this is where things get really ridiculous, because I asked what is Google's own explanation as to why they're not showing the polar ice cap, and quite frankly, there isn't one. Google can't be asked to tell us. Google Earth cannot be asked to tell us. There is nothing on there, although I've seen other things saying, other people explaining that that one of the explanations was people aren't really interested in a place they can't see. So they've left it off because, you know, on globes around, because I'll be honest, the globe in the shop and the world maps haven't got it on still. And I've asked that, why isn't it appearing on what, you know, why isn't the North Pole appearing on the globes and on world maps? And it keeps taking me back to the same information no matter how I ask the question. So Google is stuck on this this mad thing where it's actually a body of, it's a body of water quite a lot, which is why the Google Earth don't show it, because it's quite often a body of water. But it isn't, because I'm also seeing the residual of what it used to be. So in my Google, and yes, Google isn't to be trusted, but it's where we get our information about such things, isn't it, really? And if it's telling you different things, if it's telling you one thing but me another, doesn't that say something? This is the point. This is the point. It's proving that we're not in the same place at the same time. And no, there isn't actually a very good explanation at all as to why I'm seeing the North Pole. And as far as Google's concerned right now, in my reality, the North Pole is the polar ice cap as it's always been. I'm seeing lots and lots of residual of how we used to look at it on, when we were looking at satellite images of the world. We could see it all perfectly well. That's how we know what it looks like, not just from maps on the, on the globe, not just from globes. We know it from, we've seen it on, because it's quite normal for us to have seen the North Pole on satellite imagery of the world. And at one point, we all believed that that was a real thing we were looking at, didn't we? Whereas now we know it's not. Now we know it's been photoshopped and manipulated. And Google Earth hasn't actually got an actual reason as to why they're not showing the whole of the polar ice cap. There isn't. There just isn't an answer from them on Google at all where I'm at. So when I'm talking about Google, it's not that I'm believing every word that they say. What it's showing is the difference between what you're seeing and what I'm seeing. And that's why I wanted to ask you, when you look at that video of like our old reality from 1979 to last year, the polar ice cap coming and going, that's what it actually was. I wanted to know whether you could see that as that, or whether it was showing you your reality where there isn't a polar ice cap. Because if you go onto Google and it's showing you the polar ice cap, look at it, and look at it lovingly and longingly. Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly think that there is a polar ice cap up there at the minute. I don't know what I'm thinking, but right now, Google, who is supposed to be the thing of all knowledge, is telling me that that's our reality, that it's the way that my reality, the way that it used to be, exactly the same as I remember it. But it doesn't mean that that's what, because we know that the Earth isn't really the same Earth for all of us at the same time. So this is my point. This is my point. It's not about don't believe Google. It's about, these sort of things help us to understand that we're not all travelling on the same Earth, bobbing about round the same sun. We're living in different realities to each other, and this is what that proves. Like I said, my friend had the North Pole come back on Google, then it went away on Google, and now it's come back again. So this is why I look to Google, because as I've said before, it was through looking at Google and trying to get answers from Google, which made me realise that it was in between shifts. We were getting residual evidence of what it was, which like 5 minutes ago was telling me never happened. That's not the reality. Google's saying that never happened. This is always the reality. And then suddenly you've got the two. Because when we're in shift, Google's in shift, and you can get both information from both realities going on at the same time while we're shifting. And that's what's been happening this time. And that's the way I learned that we're not all sharing the same reality at the same time. How we connect with each other across the internet, I really don't know. I can't even, it blows my mind. But it also blows my mind at the fact that, yes, all over my Google, there's like information about the North Pole like it's never been away, except when it comes to the actual Google Earth, with no explanation as to why they don't show it. So I'm going to leave my, again, a post about what, a video of the polar ice cap as we all remember it. Please look at it and just, if you see it, just look at it. Because I don't expect it to stay around, because my reality isn't real anymore, is it? So I'm not expecting it to stay, but it's bloody good to see it. It's bloody wonderful to see it, because I couldn't find it at all not long ago. It never existed not long ago, which is going to be a subject of another video at another point in time. But that's what this is what it's all about. Showing that we're not in the same reality at the same time, and yet we're connecting with each other regardless. And on that note, I'm really, 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 really grateful that I have you, because I know for a certain fact I couldn't cope with all of this madness on my own. But that's why I talk about Google, what Google says, because it's supposed to tell us what's real in our reality, isn't it? Even if it's like made up propaganda, it's supposed to be matching with each other, isn't it? And it isn't. We're not all in the same reality at the same time. And Google messes about when we shift, and you can't answer a straight question. So that's where I'm coming from with the whole here's my North Pole back. I got very excited because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I've tried so hard to find it that it was just a beautiful sight to behold. My old reality, our old reality, before we knew that reality isn't real. Anyway, on that note, lovely people, please have a look at the video. I'm going to post it in the comments because somehow YouTube won't actually let me post it in the description. So I'll post a couple where you can see people's explanations as to why Google Earth isn't showing the North Pole in the reality I'm in at the minute. And on that note, until we speak again in whichever reality that happens to be, my love to you all.